let's start again. Let's run through this quickly. Sorry about that, guys. Basically, I've been trying to stream without adding my camera video to the stage, which means that the way StreamYard works is it also doesn't take any notice of my microphone, which is obviously a problem. Cool, let's just run through this again. So the VIX, basically looking at macro quickly, the VIX has come down massively, and since market open today is continuing to come down, which is great for tradfi volatility. That's what nuked us last Monday. So basically this is looking like a flash crash. If we zoom out to previous VIX volatility events like the COVID crash, the 2018 dump shortly after the crypto bull ended, and then again in 2015, all this stuff took like potentially like a week or two to run through the system, and we've come right down in about a week. So that's very cool to see. Then just a quick look at China. Their main index, the CSI 300, is the main stock market index. They are down bad since Feb 21, like 45%, and continuing to be down bad. Why does that matter? Because below here, what you see is the People's Bank of China liquidity injections. These are good for us. So we want global liquidity to go up, and one of the three main sources of global liquidity is the People's Bank of China liquidity injections. As their stonks are dumping, they are shoveling money into the market. So that is a good thing for us. That is good to see. Not good for them that their stonks are dumping into the shitter, but nice that we're getting this money injected into the markets. And then just to look at the NASDAQ, which is recovering nicely. I was wondering if this would be a dead cat bounce today, but it's looking pretty decent. This trend line's still intact. Maybe we still get some chop solidation over here. We're probably going to test this level again. But yeah, this is looking quite promising. Obviously, crypto has a reasonable correlation with the NASDAQ being a tech index. And then this is the main tech ETF, similar situation there. Maybe not as strong of a bounce, but good to see it above this level. And then quickly looking at the MOVE index. So this is bond market volatility. This also relates to global liquidity. This is one of the three legs on the global liquidity stool. The other two being the People's Bank of China, and the other one being the Fed. So a lower MOVE index means lower bond volatility, which is good for bond collateral. People use bonds as collateral because they're a safe haven play and just one of the biggest sources of collateral globally. So in relation to that, this is the latest from Michael Howell, who is basically the GOAT, the leading sort of voice on global liquidity and how it drives markets. What he's talking about here is how the MOVE index is affecting the world collateral multiplier. So what that means is you get more liquidity when people can leverage up their bonds, and when volatility comes down, you can leverage your bonds more and have more money to spend in the global markets. So what he's saying here is, in summary, we recognize that investors have been shaken by the jump in the yen with the carry trade unwind. We acknowledge there's a possibility that this could tip the world economy into a damaging recession. However, we remain upbeat and continue to believe that underlying global liquidity cycle is slated to expand well into 2025. And then earlier on, he's basically talking about how the bond market is a major driver of that. So yeah, I just tweeted earlier today about this. If I just go back to my tweet. Yeah, so this is interesting to me in terms of private credit expansion. So the private sector holds a lot of bonds, which they use for collateral. Private sector being businesses that are listed on the stock market and just generally corporates. So what's interesting to me is that Michael Saylor is basically showing his strategy all over Twitter, at all the conferences he goes to, in private circles, wherever he can. And for this to be attractive, which it should be, because what he's saying here is MicroStrategy, having adopted Bitcoin, as its primary treasury reserve asset, MicroStrategy has outperformed 499 of the 500 stocks in the S&P 500. That is insane performance for a company that hardly makes anything. Like they're a services company that makes some whack enterprise software. I don't know how many people use it, but basically all their gains are down to the strategy of leveraging up their collateral, leveraging up their own stock, leveraging up their own existing Bitcoin holdings to buy more Bitcoin. So for this to be attractive, if private credit expands in the way that it looks like it might, I think you're going to see other companies do this, which will be super bullish. Yeah. And then just moving on to Bitcoin. Saw lots of wailing and gnashing of teeth after we had a bit of a weak weekly close. Still green, but only just. And then if I zoom into the daily, yeah, I didn't really understand. I mean, it's just a testament to how emotional the crypto Twitter has become. Like the smallest moves freak people out. But basically what you're seeing here, and if I go to my other view of Bitcoin, not that one, this one, I marked out these levels when we dumped. So yeah, this is where we need to hold. Otherwise, there's a big air gap in support down to low 40s. This was the first hurdle, which we pumped straight through. And then today, we basically just retested it. We flipped it as support. That's super bullish. That's exactly what you want to see. What you have here is the 200-day moving average, which is a very important moving average. I'm not a big MA guy, but this is the one that kind of matters. So this is your bull market, bear market pivot. You want to reclaim this if you lose it. You can see we lost it here on the 4th of July. It took us 8-9 days to reclaim. Or Bitcoin bull run, we nuked through it over here. 18th of August last year. It took about a month to reclaim. We just consolidated underneath. We just kept pumping and bumping off it, resistance, 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 and reclaim. About a month. Here, only 8 to 9 days. Here, potentially even quicker. I don't know. We have to wait and see. So just go back to this view. Just drew some squiggles, some basic assumptions around end of month. August is a bad month seasonally. Probably we're going to pump into the end of August. And at that point, let's just go back to purple boxes. This is the big level to reclaim. If we zoom out, just get all this price action on the screen. Get that out of the way. This red line and this trend line are the final bosses before new highs. But, you know, global liquidity is ramping up. These are good things. Yeah, sentiment's been pretty bad since the dump. I think probably exaggerated. Let's see what happens here. There's a lot of sell orders up here. It's going to take a lot of conviction for us to get through there. But as we go up here, I think the market risks off. Shorts are opened, which we can use as fuel to go to new highs. Fingers crossed. Yeah, and then this is just a view of where we are since the cycle low in November of 22 at the FTX dump. And comparing it to the 2018-22 cycle, the last cycle. Obviously, we've got some divergences here, and these are different times. This is the COVID dump. You know, we pumped hard out of the gate here, and then consolidated and dumped into the pandemic. But you know, where we are now is very close to percentage price change is very close to where we were last cycle. I think as we get closer to the election, to the end of the year, liquidities are already showing signs of coming back. We could get something similar to this, fingers crossed. So let's see if that happens. And then just looking at Ethereum, lots of bullish stuff since ETH did this today. Nice big chunky one-day candle. It's looking promising so far. I think this daily chart is significant because we have this RSI downtrend, which is a bit of a sign of weakness. The 200-day moving average is way up here, so we are in bear market territory. Is this just going to be a relief bounce? Is it going to be a dead cat? I don't know. There's a big level up here. Got to watch this level. I know Don Alt was bullish ETH today. Everyone got kind of excited. He's had a few tweets. He's obviously long. The only thing he wants to long is ETH. He's obviously trying to concentrate all his copy traders on one asset, which is quite a big market cap. So that's cool. Maybe we get, what is this? This would be like a 20% pump up here for him. That's fine. He's playing with big bags. Maybe we go higher. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe we go to the 200-day. It's just hard for me to be high time frame bullish on ETH at this point. It always tends to run after Bitcoin. Bitcoin has run and ETH hasn't, so maybe that's what's going to happen. Let's wait and see. And then just looking at Sol ETH, I was kind of bullish on this breakout just because we consolidated under the all-time high for so long. It has come back down. This could be a good level to buy. If I zoom into the 4-hour, we kind of oversold here. What I didn't like was on low time frame, we popped under this level, which is obviously a big volume node with the consolidation that took so long. And we underside tested it and rejected it and hit the previous range high. So let's see how this plays out. But we did get massively oversold on the hourly, so I don't know. Good chance this is a good level to buy. And here's your invalidation right there. See what happens there. Oh yeah, and then just a quick look at ETH ETF inflows. Massively negative, mostly due to Grayscale. Huge numbers there being fire sold out of their ETH product. I don't know how much more selling they have to do. I haven't looked that up, but yeah, not looking great. So net negative so far for the ETH ETF. And then this was interesting. Mert, the Solana guy, who is one of the main devs for Solana, works on the RPCs and stuff. I just like his views. He has a real product market fit view of Ethereum. I'm not sure what technical stuff he looked at to tweet this, but I put it on a chart and it was super interesting because on 15 September 22 was the very day that this downtrend started, which is when you got proof of stake on ETH. And ever since then, you've had this massive weakness in RSI, this weak regime, where RSI can't get above 62, which is a huge sign of weakness. I mean, previously you had huge volatility, but you also had huge strength in the pumps. RSI running up into the high 90s. That is massive strength that's just suddenly disappeared. And this downtrend has been undefeated. We kind of almost broke it to the low side here. So, yeah. Let's wait and see what happens with ETH. Oh yeah, and then just this look on chain tweets. This guy bought 1 million ETH in ICO for 31 cents. What's that? $300,000 for 1 million ETH, now worth like $2-3 billion. And this guy's been selling. Guy, girl, I don't know, whoever they are. Deposited 48,500 ETH in the last month. I think they were selling before that as well. Kind of not surprising given the price action, but also does it just mean this is the bottom? Sentiment created, whales, ETH maxis, OGs selling could just be a sign of the bottom. I don't know. Let's hope so. I hope ETH goes up. I can just look at charts and try and read what they're telling me, and what I want and what the charts are saying are two different things. So this was just Solana data, looking at transaction TVL, transaction value locked, and stable coins, and price. And was interesting to me that stable coins are at an all-time high. So some fat liquidity is sitting on Solana waiting to be deployed. So that was interesting to me. For potential continuation on Sol ETH and Sol USD pair. And then the others chart, I've seen quite a lot of content and a few charts looking at others, and just speculating as to whether the shitcoin bottom is in. This is obviously total market cap, excluding the top 10. So anything from mid caps down to small cap altcoins. And the bottom last year came in June at 25% below this MA, the 200-day, which is your bull bear pivot. You can see kind of consolidating along the top. Failed, dumped down 25% below to 77 billion market cap, down from like 103. And then popped back up, consolidated on top, and then we had this nice big run from mid-October up to March, when majors started consolidating, chopping. But instead of sideways consolidation, we've had like this painful, massive sell-off, high FDV stuff really underperforming badly, AI underperforming, just a massive shitcoin bear market. Like, we waved Tata to the 200-day moving average in mid-June and had a massive dump, like 45% below, hugely oversold, down to like 22 on RSI, which is lower than this sell-off here. So strong case to be made that this could be the bottom, but I think obviously you still need to be clever about what alts you're buying. You need to buy strength. You can't just buy your favorite shitcoin from last year and expect it to go up. You have to look at things like FDV, rotations, is the meta in favor, all that kind of stuff, because it's still going to apply until we have massively more liquidity. Not everything can pump at once. So yeah, that was interesting. Oh yeah, and then just the ETH/USD chart. We should have probably looked at this earlier. Actually, we did, didn't we? But yeah, nice bounce so far. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least some more consolidation, and then this 3K level is the one to reclaim. And then just briefly looking at long shorts, the positioning on majors, the one that jumped out at me actually was ETH, which is another bullish case to be made for ETH, that as we are going up, this ratio is coming down. It's still quite high. Bitcoin also was looking promising, but today it's gone up 1.5. But if we go up to 70K towards the highs, and this comes down to 1, that's hugely bullish. That's the reset we need to go higher. Let's zoom out to the weekly. I've looked at this so many times, but a lot of people don't believe me. So I'll just keep repeating it. But you can see the resets we have in long short positioning. You want it to come down to 1-to-1. You want equal number of longs to short accounts. I don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why, but it's just what happens. I'm just looking at the chart. This is what the chart's telling me. Look here, down to 1, we get a run up. Down to 1 again as we go up into range highs with this horrible head and shoulders pattern here. People closed their longs, we got a reset, and we ran up again. Here we reset again, and that was what gave us the juice we needed to go to the highs. So yeah, this coming down is super bullish. We need to see that. And on ETH, you can see if I zoom in, this is on the 4-hour, that price is going up and this ratio is rolling over. So that's bullish. We don't see that on Solana. Maybe a little bit now, but earlier it just went up. So what you don't want is consensus longs. You want strong-handed longs. And if price dips or chops and people open longs immediately without thinking about it, those are weak-handed longs. That's not what you want. Those will get punished. Cool. And then just looking at some bullish alt charts. This is Helium on Solana. Well, this is on KuCoin, but originally runs on Solana. It's a nice DePIN project with a lot of fundamental reasons to be bullish about it. Kato, the AI platform that 563 and Grant use, highlighted it today. They've had huge subscriber growth. So what they're doing is basically they have tokens to incentivize, I think it's like peer-to-peer Wi-Fi, selling Wi-Fi, something like that. I'm not a fundamentals guy, but a lot of good things are happening on the network. Collaborations with 2 large US carriers to test traffic, offloading onto the Helium network, indicate mainstream acceptance. 40% price surge, so reflexivity. Yeah, just looking at the chart, you have this nice inverse head and shoulders bottom here. And then I just did some fib extensions the other day when it was down here at $6, 620, which top out at like 16, which is from here like a nice 2.5x, something like that, 3x, whatever. Yeah, this is just one of the more bullish charts in Solana. And I think broadly it kind of indicates, I mean, this and other Solana DeFi tokens, utility tokens that actually do something as opposed to just pump.fun shitters. It's nice to see these things catching a bid. If I look at my Solana watch list, you can see Helium's right up there, like 12% up today. Even Zeus, which is basically providing a way for runes to be traded on Solana and basically doing some cross-chain abstraction type stuff on Solana, is doing well now. I mean, it could be just it's just a bounce from the sell-off. It's kind of a low cap. But then other stuff like Tensor also caught a bid today, 12%. Jito not looking too great. I think Camino is still looking great. Yeah, so Camino looks super strong. I've got a bag of this. Put this in the newsletter the other day. Pumped hard up to this level here, claimed the point of control, and today we're testing it, and hopefully we go up from there after the retest. There's a level here at 6 cents and then another at like 7.5. This looks super good. Super bullish on this platform, and the team in particular are obsessive Solana maxis, super dedicated to the whole ecosystem, doing some net positive stuff for the whole ecosystem. Yeah, the kind of guys you want to see building on Solana. Creating a lot of content also, sort of proselytizing Solana as a chain and why it's good to build on for DeFi products. And yeah, just good guys generally. And then Drift is another one. Let's just have a look at that quickly. That's also doing well. Had a huge bounce. This is obviously the TGE, and then the old airdrop overhang resulted in quite a lot of down only, down to 20 cents from like 60, 70 cents. But big recovery back to 40 cents. This is the level to reclaim, obviously. Let's see where the VWAP is just above there. But yeah, these guys are building a prediction market as well as having a purpose trading platform, which is interesting. Given the success of Polymarket, which is obviously tokenless, so the thinking's been, you know, if people can't invest in Polymarket with a token, they're going to create their own prediction market, which is very cool to see. Looked at that. Oh yeah, this is Aave, so another DeFi player, this time on ETH. DeFi 1.0 super Lindy platform. I've been long Aave for a little while, based on a very high time frame, the monthly charts, which had a nice 1020 MA cross and looks really good. I'll look at that in a minute. I just charted this falling wedge early this morning, and I thought we were going to come down a bit more, but pumped right out of it, retested the top of the wedge, and we're back up again, chopping around. If ETH continues to bounce, I think we're going to see some more up here towards the 105 level. Just to show you the monthly chart thesis, which I've shown before, but maybe people haven't seen it. So on the monthly, there's a 1020 MA cross, and it would have given you this whole downtrend here if it had, you know, there wasn't enough data for it to cross, but it basically gave you this whole short crossed bullish here back in January, and since then price hasn't really moved. But what we did have last month is a fee switch proposal for Aave amongst a bunch of other super bullish return revenue to token holders type proposals. I don't want to try and list them off the top of my head because I might get them wrong, but if you can go and look it up, and there's like super interesting things happening on Aave and a bunch of other DeFi 1.0 platforms, like Compound Finance is another one, Maker is another one, although it had a massive, took a massive shit on man, hasn't fully recovered. But Aave looks good. I'm kind of in for the long haul with this thing. This being the monthly chart, good chance that this monthly candle recovers as well. Nice to see it back on top of the orange MA here. So that is Aave. Oh yeah, and then this is quite interesting. Hickson wrote a lot about the fundamentals for Curve in the newsletter today, so go and check that out in DGen Corner. So I noticed this thing being shilled by some big accounts, Cold-Blooded Shiller, and I can't remember the other one, Credible Crypto. Yeah, Credible. Between the two of them, they have like almost 1 million followers. So I was like, wow, okay, this could catch a bid just based on copy trading alone. But apparently there's a massive bull case for this thing. They have this 4-year lockup, I think it is, that whales are now piling into. Obviously over here, you had the Russian dude who founded the platform, forget his name now, took out a giant loan to buy some fancy ass house, couldn't fucking pay it back, got liquidated, and yeah, you got this, took a massive shit, huge dump. You can see the volume candle, and that is why you have this huge volume node, which we've just pumped through, and now we're breaking the downtrend. So yeah, I showed this in the newsletter today. This could be an explosive move, fingers crossed. You can see a little bit of volume coming through already, and this downtrend being broken. This is a log chart, by the way, so you won't see that on a regular chart. So yeah, this looks super interesting. I'm long this thing as of a few hours ago. Yeah, and then this is just the Camino chart. I think we looked at this just now. These two levels here are my targets. Got a bag of this as well. Oh, and then I had a request to look at Jajak, which I longed. I did show this on Friday or Saturday morning early. I can't remember. Saying it looks good for a weekend pump, which is what we got. I woke up Sunday morning and it looked toppy, and I got out super early. I think like 7 o'clock when we were getting all these wicks to the upside here, and we made this low high. I've sold my little bag. Since then, we've dumped. This thing does have kind of a culty following. I don't know why people are trying to call me when they know I'm on stream. But yeah, hopefully this culty following vibe continues. I think Grant's still got a bag of this. It looks like it's run into some support here. Let's have a look. Just have a look at volume profile. Go. And crank this up a bit. Yeah, just to explain, when I say a weekend pump, this is like a common pattern for memes, although this one ended early. I don't hold a lot of small cap memes at the moment for this reason, because these pumps on small cap memes are getting smaller as more get created, like thousands of these things made every day, new memes every day. So with dilution, you get smaller pumps, and on the weekend, where typically this might have pumped into the afternoon, like lunchtime, my time, like maybe 2 o'clock. By Sunday morning, this thing was pretty much done, and people were getting out. That's just the way memes are at the moment. You have to be careful. With dilution, you get this kind of stuff. There's only so much liquidity and thousands of new memes every hour. So I don't know. It's just the way it is. Memes will come back. They're part of, they're a permanent fixture in the cycle for sure. I still hold big cap memes for the long term. Retardio, Popcats, a couple of others. But unfortunately, yeah, people just got out of this early. Here's another one on guard. This is another request from Discord. This looks kind of okay. It's kind of making a higher low. I saw Dan shilling this earlier today, I think. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think somebody was showing it in the pit, definitely, or maybe in chat, deal chat. So this still has quite a long way. This is a log chart to go to get back to the VWAP. Yeah, I'm not good at timing these big pullbacks, these big meme pullbacks, but it doesn't look too bad. When was this? This is today. We had this wick down here through the downtrend, through the uptrend. Still looks kind of intact, but I would wait for it to reclaim this level. I would be cautious. That's just me. Maybe if you're tracking wallets, you know more than I do about who's in this thing, who's controlling the supply, all that kind of stuff. I can't really tell you about that kind of stuff. But I can tell you I'll be more bullish if we reclaim this point of control, retest it, and head up towards the VWAP. Above this level and above the VWAP, it's much easier to be bullish. But at the same time, that is like a 4x already from where we are here, or 3.5x. So yeah, if you know who's controlling the supply of this thing, if there are big accounts on Twitter selling it, you may feel comfortable aping into this thing. But yeah, I'm not that guy. I can tell you more bullish here, more bullish here. Cool, guys. Sorry about the audio issues today. Gonna wrap it up there, I think. Been through quite a lot of stuff. And I'll be back tomorrow, and you'll be able to hear me from the outset, hopefully, now that I know I need to stick my face on the screen to make it work. Cool. Chat to you all later.